Hi, this is Vicki. I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Crafting for Fun. Today I want to show you how I made this cute little Halloween treat box. It was inspired by a treat box that I saw at an archiver's store. I have no idea how they made the original, but I remembered the general idea of the design and I came home and tried to figure it out. This box is actually 3.5 inches high and 3 inches wide. It opens at the top. It has a gable top. It stands alone. It's only held together by ribbon, and it actually uses quite a few supply. It actually uses very few supplies. So it's a fun way to present a treat, maybe to a trick-or-treater, or I'd like to make gift boxes similar to this for the kids in my the Sunday school class at my church. So anyway, let me show you how I did this. To begin with, you're going to need a regular 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock for your base. This is just a medium weight cardstock. It sells for about 16 cents a sheet at my local craft store. You'll need a piece of designer paper or decorator paper. This measures 2 3/4 by 3 1/4, and it is from a K&Company stack called Spooktacular. I just love the bright colors in that. I also needed scraps of white for stamping on, and a little green scrap to just have something that coordinated. I also used 3 pieces of ribbon in my project. Each piece was about 6 inches long, but you could use one color or 2 colors or just whatever you have on hand. You'll also need a stamp of some sort, either a sentiment or some kind of an image stamp. I am using a stamp from the Monster Munchies stamp set by Stampin' Up, and this stamp says Happy Boo from me to you, and I've already pre-stamped that. We'll use that again later in the project. I'm using 3 punches. I'm using a 1 1/4 by 2 inch oval punch. This is an EK Success punch. This is the real estate sign punch, also by EK Success, but I don't think that you have to necessarily use these punches. Use whatever you have on hand. And then to make the little hole here that I have in the top of the box, I have chosen to use a 3/4 by 15/16 oval punch, but I have also done this project with a 1 inch round punch and a 3/4 inch round punch. So again, feel free to use whichever size and style of punch you have on hand. I also used a corner rounder for mine. I used the corner chomper, and I used the 1/2 inch side on that. But again, if you have a good quality corner chomper, feel free to use that. So let me gather my supplies. I'll be right back and I'll show you how to make this project. Okay, I started by cutting my 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock down to 7 3/4 by 10 1/2. So that's what I have here. I'm going to lay it on my scoring tool so that my 10 1/2 inch side is at the top, and I'm going to score it at 2, 5, 7, and 10 inches. Then I'm going to turn it so that my 7 3/4 inch side is at the top, and I'm going to score it at 1 1/4, 1 1/4, 2 3/4, and 6 1/4. And that's all the scoring we're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and remove my scoring tool. Now you need a good sharp pair of scissors for this next portion. What we're going to do is I have the little half inch section over here on this end, and then I have 2 smaller sections, a large section, and 2 smaller sections. So that's how my paper is oriented. And I'm going to start off by cutting off on the end that has the 1/2 inch section. I'm going to cut off the 2 small sections on one end, and then I'm going to turn it and I'm going to cut off the other small section. So now it looks like this. I just have a little 1/2 inch wide flap there. Now here at the bottom where I have 2 sections, I'm going to skip the 3 inch wide part, and here where I have my 2 inch wide part, and you'll see what I'm talking about as I trim, I'm going to trim up that score line and up the next score line, and I'm going to actually remove those 2 sections. And this will make a whole lot more sense to you when you see what I'm going to do. So I'm actually going to remove the whole section there. So it looks like that. And then I'm going to move over to the end, and I'm going to do the same thing with the little sections there. They're 2 inches wide. I'm going to remove those. So this is what my piece looks like right now. I have 2 sections here, 2 sections here. I'm missing and missing there. And then I'm going to turn my whole piece around, and on the other side I'm just going to cut up to that first horizontal score line. And we'll do that all along the box. And then that is all the cutting we have to do. So I'm going to put my scissors aside, and this is what I have. Now I'm going to take out my bone folder, and I'm actually going to just fold along all of my score lines, burnishing well. I'm going to be really close to getting ready to assemble our box here. On the end, I'm just going to fold in that little 1/2 inch tab. There we go. Now, this is what I have. I've got my, turn it this way again. So I have my 2 sections here, my little 1/2 inch. I actually had it on this side before. So I'm going to fold my 1/2 inch section back towards the back, and that's actually going to be my glue tab. And my box, how I'm going to construct that is I'm actually going to put that glue tab to the side. But before I do that, I want to go ahead, since this is going to be the top of my box and these 2 sections are going to be the lids of my box, I'm going to go ahead and round the corners on those before we move any further. So I'm using a corner chomper, but you could use any type of corner rounder you have. I'm using the 1/2 inch side on my corner chomper, and I'm just going to round each of those edges. I'm going to set that aside. So that is done. And the next thing I want to do is I want to punch my holes. It's easiest for me to do that before I move any further. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold those 2 pieces together, and right now it doesn't matter whether it's right sides or wrong sides. You're just going to line them up so that they're together. Now I told you I'm using an oval punch. The punch I'm using is the 3/4 by 15/16 oval punch by Stampin' Up, but you could easily use a 1 inch circle or a 3/4 inch circle for this. So I'm going to line all these edges up, and I actually have the 2 layers together, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my punch and I'm going to position it in there so that it is centered from in that first scored section, and it's centered from side to side. Just kind of eyeballing it, and I'm going to punch through both layers. There we go. So that's all I have to do for that. Now I'm going to lay my box back down. Remember I told you flip this tab over. Now I'm going to use sticky strip to put my box together. And this, you could use whatever your favorite adhesive is, but I'm choosing to use sticky strip because I think that it works best for boxes and things that get a lot of handling. So I'm just going to turn this around and apply a layer of sticky strip right along that edge. Okay, and then let me see here. On one other, I'm just going to apply sticky strip one other place, and we'll come to that here in a moment. So go ahead and burnish your sticky strip down, and then you're going to want to remove the plastic layer that covers that. And then the way I fold my box is I actually turn it, and then I fold it in half, and I'll line everything up so that it's nice and flat and my edges are all even. And that, when I push my box, that is the basis for my box. Now I'm going to need sticky strip in one more place. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take these end flaps and fold them in, and then I'm going to fold my bottom flaps one in and then the other one in. And it doesn't really matter on this particular box because they don't go all the way to the edge. So I'm going to apply sticky strip to that one bottom flap of the box. I'm just going to take a piece right along the edge there, burnish it down, take the plastic layer off. I'm going to turn this upside down so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to line everything up and burnish that. Now, for the lid part of the box, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold, the sides are already folded in. I'm going to fold this top little crease, I'm going to fold it ever so slightly back. On the other side, the first one goes in, and that one goes ever so slightly back, and then I'm just going to join them together. and that makes the sides of your box. Now I'm going to tie those together with ribbon. If you tie them together with ribbon, there is no reason that you have to adhere those two tops together. That way the person who gets the box can open it up, look inside, take the treat out without having to destroy the box. But if you would prefer, you may add adhesive here, and then glue the two top parts of the box together. In truth, most people who get a treat box like this probably won't save it. So I'm going to leave that for now, and we'll come back to it. What I want to do next is I want to decorate the front of the box. This is where you'll need that piece of designer paper that is 2 3/4 by 3 1/4. We're going to apply that to the front of the box, and that's exactly the right size. So I'm going to turn that over, grab my glue gun, or my tape gun here, and then I'm just going to put that right on the front of my box. Making sure I kind of center it up as best I can. This paper that I'm using today is from a K&Company stack. It's called Spooktacular. I just love the colors in that stack, and I don't think I did a very good job of lining it up there. There we go. That's better. So there we go. There's my paper. Now, I'm going to bring that scrap of green paper that I have back, and that real estate sign punch. Now these are just the ones that I've chosen to use. You could feel free to use whatever you have. I'm going to punch one of those. And then I pre-stamped my image, my Happy Boo from Me to You, on a piece of white glossy paper. Let me locate that. Okay, I have found my stamped image. I pre-stamped Happy Boo from Me to You on a piece of white glossy cardstock, and I am just going to center that up in my oval shaped punch. And again, this is an EK Success oval shaped punch, and the dimensions are 1 1/4 by 2 inches. So I've done that. I'm going to take my stamped image, turn it over, and I'm going to add some dimensional pop dots on the back. These are the Stampin' Up! Brand, but any good foam tape will do. And then I am going to center that in my little punched shape. There we go. And then I'm going to turn that over and add a few more pop dots on that. Take off the backing. And then this is just a matter of personal preference. So I'm going to put it right on the front of my bag. There we go. Then I'm going to take my 3 pieces of ribbon. Now you could use 1, 2, or 3 pieces of ribbon. This is entirely a matter of personal preference. I just had 3 colors that coordinated and couldn't decide which ones I liked the best. So I'm putting them through the hole. I did not apply any adhesive on this box. And I'm just going to tie a little knot and then trim my ends. Of course, you'd want to fill your treat boxes before you did all this with your ribbon. Well, that looks cute. So just need to trim it off. And fan my little ribbon pieces out. There we go. Cute little treat. So I hope you enjoy this project. If you have any questions, you can email me at craftingforfun@gmail.com, and you can check out my blog, craftingforfun.blogspot.com, for additional craft ideas. See you back soon.